Hello, and welcome to the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga. Even though the name says Ashtanga Yoga, actually these 8 limbs are common in all different kinds of yoga. And that's because the 8 limbs of yoga come from the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which is the most important text of all modern yoga. It's more than 2,000 years old, and whether you're following Hatha Yoga or whether you're following Ashtanga Yoga, these are still going to be the limbs of yoga for you, and they're the basis of all yoga practice. So here you have the 8 limbs of yoga. We have the yama, the niyama, the asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. You will see here that below each category you have an English explanation of the word. For example, yama are self-restraints, niyama are things to do in caring for yourself, asana is the physical posture, pranayama refers to breathing techniques, pratyahara refers to drawing the senses inwards, dharana is studying the mind, dhyana is calming the mind, focusing the mind, and samadhi is bliss which defies all description. Here you can see the 8 limbs of yoga in a progressive order. We do have to do the 8 limbs in their proper order, so that's first doing the yama niyamas, then doing the asana, then doing pranayama, and the last 4 steps all have to deal with the steps of meditation, and they should also be done in order. So here we have the yama niyamas. It's very traditional to differentiate the yamas and the niyamas from each other, and the yamas are kind of how we treat others, and niyamas is how we treat ourselves. Although, to be fair, each of these things are going to have ramifications for others and for yourselves, and we'll get more into that next week, next module. But just to give a quick summary, we have ahimsa, which is non-violence, satya, truthfulness, asteya, responsibility, and non-stealing, brahmacharya, it says unity, also you can translate that as spiritual conduct, aparigraha, which is generosity and non-greed, and then we have niyamas. Saucha is purity, santosha, contentment and gratitude, tapas, discipline, svadhyaya, self-study, and ishvara pranidhana, which is surrendering to a higher power. So here we have the asana, or the physical practice. The asana is what most people think of when they think of yoga. But the truth is that's just 1/8 of the parts of yoga. It's a very important part, don't get me wrong, but it's not the entire practice. There are many steps in yoga. But the asana practice is particularly important, and that is because it's meant to clean the mind and the body to prepare for meditation. It's also part of cleaning the 5 layers of being, or the koshas, which we'll look more deeply at later. But basically, it's just cleaning the physical body, the energetic body, the mental body, the wisdom body, all so that your soul can shine forth. Here we have pranayama, or breathing exercises. The idea behind the breathing exercises is to, again, clear your mind body so that your soul can shine. And as you can see, we have these 2 colored lines, starting at the base of the spine, and one comes out the right nostril and the other comes out the left nostril. These are Ida and Pingala Nadi, or energetic channels. They're the 2 main energetic channels in the body, and there's a third one called Sushumna, which runs along the central center of the back along the vertebral column. The idea with pranayama is to methodically clean out the Ida and the Pingala so that the energy can flow in Sushumna. So for example, in the pranayama of alternate nostril breathing, you clean first Ida and then Pingala, and Eventually, through a prolonged practice, the energy can start to flow in Sushumna. Pratyahara is to draw the senses inwards. So you stop listening, you stop speaking, you stop smelling, you stop paying attention to everything in the external world, and you turn your gaze inwards. Dharana is calming the mind. In this step, we try to empty the mind of any thought, any worry, totally calm, full of just peace. Dhyana is focusing the mind. So in this state, we're kind of getting into a meditative state, and we're focusing all of our energy on the object of meditation. So in order to really understand how these three things work together and lead to meditation, I invite you to close your eyes with me now, and we'll go through the steps together. So closing your eyes, and we're gonna turn our gaze inwards. Pratyahara, we stop listening to any external stimulus. We kind of shut out the external world. And then we move into Dharana, calming the mind, trying to let go of any thoughts. If any thought comes, acknowledge it and then let it go. Any thought, you can imagine it, it's like a cloud. You put the thought into the cloud, and then with the wind, the clouds disappear. And what you're left with is a state of kind of nothingness. Then in dhyana, we're going to focus our mind on an object of meditation. Maybe it's the breath, maybe it's a god or a goddess, maybe it's just an idea, like the idea of joy. Focusing only in on the one object of our meditation. And finally, we move into samadhi, meditation. And last but not least, we have samadhi, the last of the 8 steps. So all of the previous steps led us to samadhi, which is a state of oneness. And basically, it's a successful meditation. And it's pretty hard to talk about samadhi because it's beyond words, it's beyond thoughts. It's a state of oneness with the cosmos, with the universe, with God, whatever you want to conceptualize that to be. You can also kind of just use it synonymously with meditation or successful meditation.